Okay, guys, so we caught off on the first video. I had an incoming call. I forgot to turn my phone on airplane mode. So we cut off on the fish farm part. So this is going to be part 2 of that part 1 video. I wanted to put it all on one, but you know, things happen. So I was talking about the fish farm and how if I, as Calvin Edwards, went in partnership with Jarice Feezy, which is a friend of mine, who we both started this fish farm, and Jarice dies. Now his wife can't come to me and say she want to buy me out because that property, that partnership is not with her. It's with me and him. Sole partnership, ownership. So when he dies, all of his shares come to me. Now, if we decide to open up and say that our partnership within a will, if something happened to me, my wife would take on the shares and do this. But we have to specifically put in the contract or the deed or the forms of paper that says that my shares cannot be bought out unless consented to. I have to get all full ownership of my area or the whole as business as it goes. You understand? So we can't just in the middle of it do what she did to him. In a sense, real estate now is actually protecting young investors or young realtors for, you know, proper ownership and things of that nature. So it really actually helps protect you for today. So let's go on with this. Number 10. The conversation of Joe owning 18 buildings downtown. I think that kind of shocked Bernard when Bernard was trying to figure out how did you or where would you like to go in business with me after he coming from that that meeting with Barker's wife with the lawyer saying that she wants to take all of his ownership in those properties. So now he's in the meeting with Joe, which I have a problem with. He made the black man his last choice. That should have been the first choice. But you know how we get with our people. You know what I'm saying? So you know how we get with our people. We'll make us the last one. We'll use everybody else because we think that ice is better. All right, Bernard. That name by itself, Bernard. Y'all, I'm just playing. I ain't playing. Okay, look. This always scares me because they come up with this plan to get this young white boy that's friends with Bernard's cousin that works at the same factory with him and bring him in to teach him everything that they know and then let him go off and be the front for their business. I understand these are risks that you have to take during that time. And in some instances, I almost think that we have to do it today because it used to be a mayor in our town. He passed away now, Mayor Trice. He once said, I don't know what y'all think y'all doing to think y'all can do anything in this world without white people. I said, well, look at that. Do you understand? Like, he even said it. And so that's neither here nor there. Y'all put in the comments what y'all think about that comment right there of what Mayor Trice said. And that was back in the, early 2000s? He said that. And so, you know, that let you know they got an ironclad grip on this society of things that they building wealth around here. And we just lost to it. I'm going to tell you about that in another video. Okay, so so they bring him in to help them build up things, and this boy has the audacity to think he could run the stuff by himself. But I think that's not only that white boy issue. I think also that is some young black people, these millennials, I think it's their issue too. Because we can do something for 6 months and we swear we mastered it. And we hadn't mastered anything. You can't come in 6 months, do a job, and then think you can run this company. You can't run this company. You know, you got to understand why you was brought on. You was brought on to be what we hired you for. Now, if you want to go and say, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, then you separate from said company and go over here and start your own and build it from the ground up. Now, you might have to sign some forms working for me because you ain't finna be no competitor. I'm gonna make sure I halt you in your process. That's business, not personal. Okay. So anyway, it's just what I said. It's just what we had to do, I guess. They had to teach him how to be the whites that whites understood, because you know he was poor white in his mind. He had to be taught how to be white. And then I put something under here that said, it's amazing how we know how to do that. Do what, Cal? How we know how to be white. And you know that word, I hear Roland Martin use it all the time. He said it's a construct. Because when you say we know how to be white, it's like saying we know how to be white by watching white men. So every time we say okay, this is all the black people. You know how you say there is two black people? The black people you be at the house with your family and friends, and then the other black person that you be when you in polite company with business people that's millionaires and things like that, other white folk. And the reason we know how to be that is that's us putting on, in this terms now, when we say being white, that's not racism, that's not racist. It's called being American. In a sense, if you look at it, because they taught the white boy how to be American. Because see, black people know for a long time how to be American. Because you want to know why? When we were slaves, not just me, myself, because I have never experienced slavery, yet I descend from slaves. Now, that's a whole nother story from another thing. But the thing is, we sat around them. We watched them do business. We watch how they do certain other men in the same field as them coming up with ideas, and then we saw how they did it to take things or add to their company or combine and make bigger. We saw how to be American, and we use it in a slick term. I hate, that's a lack of a better word, you guys, to say just we taught him how to be white. Or when you know somebody say Calvin is being white, he acting white. You acting like them white folks. You doing this. No, it ain't I'm acting like them white folks. See, I turns it in the way of making it say I'm acting American. Because you see it, when you say I'm acting white, you only know that only white folks do that. And why do only white folks do it? Because it's considered American. Now, when we try to do it, it becomes a problem. Because I got the feeling we ain't never been American, as this movie shows us. See, I'm just tying it all into today, into now. Now, you have some people that may think that this is not so. And that's good, you know. That's, you know, it ain't so, but, you know, show me your $300 million business. I'll wait. Okay. Now, you can't marry outside your race and say you building a $300 million black business. Because when you die, that money ain't going into your race. I'm just letting you know. That's just a side note, too. We'll talk about that in another video. Okay, so I really love this movie, guys. This is the movie review for The Banker. Going down here. And I said, most folks get mad at me for saying that, but it is not literally white. It is knowing how to be American. And so that's the point that I was making on it. I guess I put it in good words. It's not how you trying to be white, or it's not you being white. It's the American part. That's the business part of American, you know, being an American. We know that these things happen. And so we watch you. We watch how you handle things. And then when we go to doing it, we can't do it. Because what is the audacity of this black man to try to do something like that? Oh no, we can't have you doing that. And so that's why I was saying they know not to try to not to turn us loose, because we're gonna just shoot off. You know, it's gonna be really something amazing when they really turn us loose. And I'm kind of thinking it's coming sooner than we think. We're gonna get turned loose and we can be able to do things that we were never able to do in this country. Okay, so I wrote down these numbers when Steiner finally got the whole act together, when they taught him how to golf, they taught him the math of real estate and things like that. And they calling out numbers in 1960s now. This is $2,686,320. In that time, that equaled to $20,363,265.51 in today's money, which means he was charging $20 million to buy his building in the 1960s. And them black men was trying to buy that building in the 1960s with the money they acquired. Come on now. They the 1% back then. But let's get on back to this. That's not what they settled on. The price they settled on was $1,554,060, which he rounded off to $1,560,000,000. You see what I'm saying? And in today's money, they bought that building in 1960s. Bernard Garrett and Joe, with Mr. Steiner as the front man for their company, they bought it for $11,780,324.91 in today's money. For 1960, they spent $11 million for that. You guys, you got to understand the magnitude of black people owning such wealth or money in that sense. Now, I looked into that because, you know, most folks, they wouldn't even look into pricing like that for them to buy that building. You know, they really had to have some money. Joe Mama was a real estate, so he kind of understood how things were going. I ain't gonna say I wish we would get together, because I don't need all us to get together. I know when all us get together, we have problems. So what I want us to do is, you find your group of friends or your group of black people or your 2 or 3 friends, and you say, hey, let us do this, let us do that. And y'all come up with an idea. And this is what I want all the black people to understand. When you start seeing these groups of black people do things, respect their organization. Respect them and allow them to perform in a way that you don't have to disintegrate or degrade their business acumen. You don't have to do that. You can just allow them to function. And if you don't like it, set your jealousy down in your stomach and ask God to help you deal with that. Because you don't need to be trying to tear down no black man. We already got enough to deal with from people that is not black in this country. You go sit down somewhere and you put that jealousy in your belly and tell God to help you get delivered from that. All right. All that. Let's go on. I stopped even writing numbers now because I was getting excited. We was getting into the full thing of everything. So after they made the deal, they bought the Bankers Building. This is a building that houses all headquarters for banks in the area or in the city or in the nation, maybe. I don't, whatever it could be. So this is what happened. They rise back home to Willis, Texas, to his father's house. Now, it's like me riding back to my hometown in Mississippi. I can literally see it, that things are going to actually be the same. And I'm going to give you an example. When I was working in Nantucket, Massachusetts on the island, And I didn't come home one homecoming. And homecoming is when the high school where you're from have a homecoming parade and the homecoming football team. Everybody that's from that community that had lived there and went to school there, they come home. I didn't come home that time because I had to work all the way through winter. So I was working through winter, and I FaceTime my friends or my cousins, and I looked at their videos on Facebook, and I had been gone literally, I'd say about a good 9 months. I was gone 9 months because it was in November when I finally looked back at Facebook, because our homecoming was in October. So it was in November when I left. And when I was sitting there, I was looking on Facebook and I was looking at my hometown where I'm from, because I was up in Massachusetts, buildings all immaculate and clean and done right. And so I was looking back at my hometown through the videos on Facebook, and I was like, oh my God. Like, that's when it came to me, like, nothing has changed in this town. The town literally looks the same. Then when I came home, I started looking in people's yearbooks, in their high school yearbooks in November. So I was at my cousin's house. She graduated in 2005. I looked in her yearbook back when they had pictures, when they used to sit uptown and stuff like that. All the buildings are still torn down. Even in the 1990s, the buildings were torn down. Nothing has changed. The whole thing looked the same. Nobody came in to do business, because this is a 65% or 70% black community. Used to be booming with business when white folks lived in the town. You understand? When white folks lived in the town, there was entrepreneurs everywhere, business. But now we got black people that do business, and it's more along the lines of a hustle rather than a business. Because they may do a little thing, but it's not functioning like a real business because they shut down during certain seasons. No, you have to remain open and continue to push forward to get the business savvy that you need. You can't just be doing this thing. Like, if I say, if you don't stay open year round, you're not a business. You're a hustle. And if you don't have a storefront, I know we get into a time now everything is going online, but if you don't have a storefront, to me, you ain't a business. You're a hustle. Now, you may make some money, but you still ain't gonna make nothing that'll make you benefit. I know I told y'all I was gonna go sideline with this, and it was gonna all push over to one side. So y'all forgive me for that, but I just had to put that in there to let y'all understand, like, him going back to his hometown in Willis, Texas. I tied it back in. And him seeing his father, and his father saying to him, son, I'm so proud of you. I said, that's the moment I understood. Like, that's what we all look for our parents to say that they're proud of us. Like, my mom, before she passed away, one of her friends said, oh my God, Kevin, she was so proud of you. And that's the one thing that touched my heart and brought tears to my eyes, because out of all of this, I know I was kind of rough with it when it comes to, school and everything. I was getting in here, going over here, doing this and dropping here and coming back in here, failing here, passing there. And when the woman came and said that she was proud of me, I was ecstatic. I hadn't even thought about, what I was actually doing. And when she said that, I was like, oh, well, I always knew she was proud of me, but it actually moved me forward to actually begin to continue on doing the things that I'm doing now. So let's get on back to the story. Okay, Mainland Bank was in Texas. Owners were a father and son duo. The son wanted to be bank president, although his father was going to go ahead on and sell the business, because, when the check comes, you're going to come get that check. You ain't worry about that now. Okay, owning a bank is like owning the other side of real estate market. Bernard told to Joe when he was trying to get Joe into helping him get the bank over there in Texas. He said, we do have this thing. Well, he didn't say that. I said this. When him and Joe got into an argument about his hometown and how he trying to go back and save all the black folks in Texas. He might just need to move his daddy out of Texas and bring him over to California where he can see about his daddy personally and he can actually help him benefit right here. And I said, in the same sense, that happened to me. Well, my brothers, they all in Massachusetts now. Noted, they're not millionaires, but they say we should get out of here in Mississippi because, you know, things are not the way it should be here when it comes to business. And I say, you understand, I understand that. But like this old blues song say, I'm a Mississippi boy. It's just something in me that keeps me in this state that drives me and makes me want to become more and more successful here so that the title can reign here. And I understood that from Bernard's standpoint. And he basically was saying to Joe, you don't understand because you don't come from where I come from. And then Joe kind of clocked him a little bit and said, so you trying to say I ain't black? He said, because I know I'm black. I woke up black. Yeah, I checked my hand. I'm still black. But the thing is, he was getting him to see is that he think he's a different kind of black because he grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth as it relates to certain black people that had money during that time. Because you can understand Joe's mom was a real estate agent, which means she got money and she was able to do things that Joe moms couldn't do, or dad, because you don't see his mom anymore, you see his dad. And so I understand that. That's why I say we do have this thing about blacks who don't grow up in the South, don't understand racism in its truest form. And now I do know that to be true because I always say that, you know, when certain black people leave from the South and they go north, they didn't think they done stepped into a Cristal or Spade or, you know, Ciroc vodka. And they done got the best thing out of life. And they living up there in worse conditions than they lived when they was here. But I understand that because, you know, people got to be able to deal with, and I truly believe this myself, that the racism you experience in the North ain't the racism in the South. And that's not to say that the racism in the South is not like the racism in the North. It's just it's the thing that drove the South so long that when you call yourself moving to the North and you figure out that you had the same problems of Jim Crow segregation and redlining up there, and then you want to say it's better? No, you need to get down here and take care of the first business first. That's all I was talking about, and I believe it's still to this day. Y'all correct me in the comment. Don't go too hard. Jesus Christ. Don't go too hard. And I said the white man at Mainland Bank was asking those questions to protect his family as well. Because he knew he was trying to get into this business. Not get into this business. He knew he wanted the bank. But his daddy was so excited about the check that he didn't even think to ask about, you know, who is these people that's down here that we don't see? Who is these investors? Because, you know, a smart white man, he's going to always ask the important questions when it comes down to money. They would turn down money if it comes from a black man. Do you hear me? Don't you see these folks turning down Obamacare? They are turning down Obamacare because it comes from a black man. Now, it ain't no never mind. You ain't had insurance until you got Obamacare. But just because it comes from here, they would turn it down. They would not vote. Poor white people would not vote in line with poor black people because of what it is, poor black people. Y'all, don't get me started on it. I love this movie. It shows the thing, and I read too much into certain things. I guess y'all have to... I don't need you to correct me. Just listen to it and hit the like button. Hit them thumbs up. And hit that subscribe. And ring that bell. And then I said, before I saw this movie, I wanted to get all the pastors in the room. Because we got to understand, in the black community, you ain't doing nothing without the church. When it comes to business, I don't care what you talking about. When it comes to business, you ain't doing nothing without the church. Because black people, trusted elders, are in the church. You can, like this thing I always had. I don't even care about like the finance part because certain people are entitled, not entitled. They can get their finances fixed, but that's fine. So you're going to go out and get a credit card, get your credit fixed, that's fine. But I'm talking about to build wealth and to let them know there is an access point over here. And I said the only person I can get to that people trust are their pastors. And I know I'm an honest person, so I'm going to literally tell the pastor, this is what I'm working on, and I need y'all to come together in y'all organizations, churches, or whatever, to tell your people that this is a door that they can come through so they can access wealth in a way that it's going to benefit them, and that's in buying a home or something of that nature. I truly believe that. And all you other people out there that this is not a side hustle for you side hustle people, because you side hustle people gonna end up hurting black people with all this other kind of stuff, because y'all don't last long. You just a side hustle. That's neither here nor there. And so when they was getting ready to cast all the loans, he said we cast a wide net, including, well, he didn't say including to black people. I put that in there because the loan officer was the young white boy whose daddy owned the bank at first. He was asking, who is all these people? And he was calling those names. Now, those names were black names. Even if you white, you know a black name when you hear it. I don't care where you from. But this is my point that I was making. When he said, who are all these people and why they're getting loans? We ain't never gave out these many loans. That's because you negated a whole community. And I can see that happening today. Even where I'm from, there are these banks. We got banks. Our money is in these banks, and they borrowing money from off of us, putting it in the bank, giving other people opportunity to get loans to build houses in a community over there that doesn't have anything to do with us, you guys. I see it right now today. And so the guy said he cast a wide net. And so that would be an awesome thing to do, to cast a wide net to get people to come on over and start getting loans and being able to pay for their house. Now, people can pay for their house. They'll like to rent to own because they don't even understand that rent to own is one thing. Just they want to kick the bank out of the way because we ain't never been able to have process or due process in the bank's system. So, I had a person that came to me about contract to deed. That was used during racism. Doing segregation and redlining, because they knew the bank wasn't going to give you no loan. So they did a contract to deed. Whatever you paying for now, you just pay for it outright. And then you can get the deed once you pay off the set amount of money that they wanted for the house. So, that's another point. Okay, and so we was talking about Mr. Steinhardt now on this point, where his wife come to him and says says something to the fact to him to make him think that he could be the man to get things done. Because, I understand your wife want to see you in a strong position, that white woman. Yes, she do. She want to see you in a strong position. She don't want to see you working for no colors, no Negroes. Not that. The white woman got him to thinking he could be the man. Now, I bring you in to work for my pizza shop. You working for my pizza shop. I'm showing you how to do this, showing you how to do that. Now, you go home to your girlfriend saying, yeah, you can do this. You talking up big stuff. But you ain't got the gall to tell her, baby, you overstepping your bound. I know what my role is in this thing, in this business. So you want to come out and tell me what you want to run when I the one set you up, because I knew what type of person you were that we can do this with. And you want to get it up in you because you using my brain thinking that you can run it, and you can't run it. That happens today. Mediocre white people get to fail all the time and don't nobody say nothing about it. And then they get to go again and fail again until they succeed. That's all I'm going to say about that. His wife told him, they can't be that much smarter than you. In other words, to say, them black folks ain't smarter than you. They can't be. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the thought. And I know y'all going to get on me about this by saying it. I truly believe they think that about all of us. They truly do. I do. Little things like that. It's just little words. And I know y'all say, oh, no, that's horrible. Those things don't happen. I believe it with everything in me. You give them the opportunity, they will turn like that. These laws is the thing they're going. Now, they might like you. Shake your hand with you, bring you to their barbecues, bring you to their potluck. I guarantee you, they'll go back there. My mama told me a long time ago when she was working at this company. She said, baby, I truly believe that if they told them things got to change and to stop, they would turn on a dime. And they wouldn't stop. They would speak, or someone would speak and someone wouldn't. They would turn on a dime and they wouldn't think nothing of you. And I believe that. My mama, now, y'all can say what you want to, but that's my mama. She told me that. Because, and then I wrote down here, it's a book we read with the ADOS organization. It's called We Must, and I said, we must read this book. I said, they were her property. It basically explains how white women was just as bad as the white slave masters, which were their husbands. Now, we talk about all these women rights and all this kind of stuff like this. Yeah, I understand that. But guess where that white woman going? Back to her husband with all that money. That's where she going. She going back to her husband with all that money. And if he die, she gonna get that money too. Her granddaddy died, she gonna get that money. Black folks, you can't be siding with people that you ain't got no rights with. They got you believing you ain't got no rights with your husband. You don't have a problem with your husband. Y'all both poor. Now, you may be a millionaire, but guess what? You ain't got no problem with your husband. That's that white woman's issue. They were her property. Go read that book. Because she said the same back then. They had the same thing with the white men, with their husbands. They all come from the same thing. It's just that they wanted to be in control, as do most women. Y'all don't get me on that. Don't get me on that. Most women want to be in control. They don't believe in, just like they don't want to even believe in God made the man the head of the household. Oh, let's stop right there. Stop right there. We don't want to add nothing to nothing else. Let's move on. White folks screw. Joe said in the meeting, once they got caught they didn't get caught. They was in the middle of a meeting trying to break this thing down on how they gonna make this work or how they was gonna fix it. He said, when white folks screw you over, they have other white folks that will walk in and see it happening to you and overlook it and let it happen. You remember, you don't remember, but you heard your folks talk to you about, you know how white folks stick together? That's that right there. They'll see somebody white screwing you over, then they'll just look at you and then allow them to screw you over and keep on going just as long as it ain't hurting them. And that's the point that's being made even today, that we can't get legislation passed for black people reparations. Dan Steiner, this the young white boy, I'm just calling his name as the actor, is Mr. Hope, got ready and wanted to be the man. So with that, he put himself in a position to try to make commands and do orders when you was just taught 3 months ago. And then he said to Bernard Garrett's wife, well, Bernard was just in this for 3 months ago. She didn't have a comeback. And in that sense, I was sitting here, I was saying to myself, she missed the opportunity to say, but he has the education. That's the point she missed. Because she tell him, you got to understand, you just came into this 3 months ago. Now, for her to tell him that, he felt it was an insult. Then he came back to her and said, but Bernard just came into this 3 months ago. But you missing, Steiner, white boy, you're missing. The one point is that Bernard has the education. You didn't. He put you on. You didn't put him on. Stay in your place. But see, you can't tell, oh Lord, no, you can't tell nobody white to stay in your place in that sense. But I digress. Let's go on, because we ain't trying to get over into all this other stuff. Y'all don't take offense to this video. It's just what I'm saying. I just love videos like this because I can actually wrap this in. I'm gonna start doing more videos like this though. When he was going with the state auditor and they were sitting in the conference room, he had that, I call it that white boy dumb look on his face. Like he didn't put himself in something that he can't get out of. And I just know it's be a lot of things that they say they don't know, but they do this to themselves because you automatically know that you don't supposed to be in this position. But you want to put yourself in this position because you want to be made to look like a man. Get your ego out the way. We brought you here as a do boy. Be a do boy. Now, if you want to do something else, go over there and do it yourself. Y'all, I'm yelling. I'm sorry. I got to sound like an appropriate, movie review person. If y'all like this, hit the like button. Subscribe, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go on. Then there is another part when the currency treasurer comes in and says how white men would stick with each other after one white boy has already destroyed his livelihood. White folks really stick together. And I say that in the sense because he was sitting in the senator's office. The senator was trying to get him to confess, which he ain't got to get him to confess because he knew he was a part of the switcheroo. It ain't fraud and it's not like something bad. They just use him as the front person for their company because they knew that black people couldn't have certain freedoms as an American. As you see, like he said in the beginning, how the white man do business. How the white man do American business. They didn't have freedom in those areas. So he was actually still trying to help the white boy to understand, you can't side with these black boys. We finna put them under. And you are going to go under with them if you don't side with us and come on out the way. He sided with the white folks, as a smart white boy would do. He smarted with the white folks and he left out walking scot-free. No problems. Y'all, come on now. Y'all got to watch that. The senator knew what they wanted to do to those black folks. And I'm just saying this because when he was in the committee meeting and he had to testify before them, you know how we see things on the U.S. in the city committee, finance committee with what's her name, Maxine Waters and all the other senators sitting up there, and they all be asking questions like they don't know. Just like this senator from Arkansas, he knew, but he got up in there. You notice once he started talking, he started looking around all strange and like, hold on, tread carefully. They already knew. It's a game, guys. It's a game. Every last one of them sitting up there, they already know. It ain't that they don't know, talking about something. No, they don't know this is going on. Yes, they do. That's how they make their money. They know. And we got to be wise enough to understand. When we get to a certain level, don't let people boost our heads up and push us into something that'll make us lose everything. Because it's just not natural, y'all. I got a little bit to go. Let me drink some water, y'all. Okay, and I just got these two more things and then we're done. The senator told Bernard in that meeting with him, with his attorney, you was doing all this stuff. You became a high-class Negro. You was rich. You could have lived out everything. But then you had to come down to Texas. And these are the words he's used. Don't muck around with the social order or you will survive and even be rich. Don't muck around with the social order of things. Meaning, if you know you live in the South, and white folks control certain things. And just like this former mayor that passed away in my area said, you can't get nothing done without white folks in this area. Don't muck around with the social order of things. They like the status quo around here. Now, if you ain't got a whole heap of black folks or you ain't got the people on your side, don't you muck around with the social order of things. You stay comfortable right where you're at. If you're able to make millions, make millions. And don't be going and doing nothing talking about something. Well, I don't like that. I can't do this. I'm finna knock this down and do all this. Oh, that's the social order thing. I learned from that. I experienced it, but I learned from it. Because it hits me. That's why I wrote it down. You can survive being rich. That's all you're going to be, rich. The social order is the power. The social order is the power, you guys. The social order is the power. That's why when you see, listen to me. That's why when you see LeBron James, that's why when you see Tyler Perry, that's why when you see Oprah, that's why when you see, who else? Somebody else rich and black. Whoopi and everybody else, Monique, everybody else. When you see those rich people, they are rich, yes. Rich don't mean powerful. Rich mean rich. I love them all. But they don't have power because power comes in social capital. Social capital is the social order of things. Who control the social society that we live in? Come on now. That's social capital. When you got a regular gas pump saver, a regular gas pumper who pumps your gas, you offend him. You beat him down. Or you say something to him, he gets mad. He figure out that his cousin knows somebody that knows an attorney general, that knows somebody that knows a broker, that knows somebody that knows the commissioner, that can call in on you and say, okay, yeah, we're not going to go through with that. You don't have social capital like that. You know who you know? You know your auntie who knows the bishop. No, your auntie who knows the pastor, who knows the archbishop of the Church of God in Christ, who then knows the person who is a senator but can't pull nothing out for you. That's why our communities are still in the situation it is now. I live in Mississippi, and guess who my congressman is? Benny Thompson. And guess how our ward look? Not our ward, our district look. Horrible. It's been the same. It's not nothing on him. He just don't have the social capital. He don't have the, what they call it? The social order. He don't have that power. Because if he had that power, things have been changed. We ain't sending him there to fight for a DACA, for these other people. We sent him there to do for our community. Now he going and doing all this other stuff, thinking that his constituents might care. We'll care about that once we take care of us. I heard a great example of how when we are in a situation, when black folks are in a situation, it's just like my house burned down. This is my house. It burns down. My neighbor house burns down. Now, this the thing. We both had insurance. So now, I'm supposed to take my insurance money and give it to my neighbor to build their house. That is not how that works. That's not how any of this works. If we both got insurance, or if he don't have insurance, guess what? I'm building my house with my insurance money that I got from my insurance policy. If you chose not to have insurance, whose fault is that? Come on, y'all. Talk to me. That's just that social order that I'm talking about. I'm just using an example. Y'all don't go too hard on me on this video. All right. The hearing in the Senate. This is the last part and then we're done. Okay, it said we know that for black citizens, it is not a part of the American dream. Well, it is not part of the Constitution that we acquire the American dream. Now, we had to put in the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment to help us, and we still have not acquired those rights as of yet, truthfully. Not just not there. We haven't truthfully obtained those rights. Just recently, Byron Allen has just, I say, lost. It ain't just him, it's all of us. Just lost in the Supreme Court when it comes to the 1866 Civil Rights Act. He was using to go against Comcast, AT&T, and Charter. He was using those. He using the 1866 Acts because he was trying to tell them that he could not, as a black entrepreneur, come into a space that they was locking him out of. Now, he's going to be fine, but the fact is that racism keeping him out. Ain't no other reason that you're not putting his channels on those networks is other than you trying to keep this black man from stretching out, becoming what you are, which is what you are, a white man, which is what you are, the American dream. Trying to keep that black man from becoming American. He's American in the sense that he got wealth, he got money, but he can't tap into that social order. That social order at AT&T, Charter, Comcast, they are not playing in the games. That made sense right there. And so we as black people, first of all, I wrote, we are a bottom caste in this country. What does that mean? A bottom caste. Which means we have been locked out of everything. Now, we can work, we do jobs, and see, some folks consider income wealth. That's not true. Wealth is not income. We're a bottom caste, meaning if you look at any statistics, we are back in the 1950s and 60s as it relates to home ownership now in this country. That's how it is because of predatory lending. During the 2007, 2008 financial crash, we lost everything. The rug was just pulled from up under us. Obama didn't say, oh, let me stop. Let's go on. People, we are literally the shoes America used to build their wealth. I think that's enough, y'all. I think I need to stop. The movie ends with him talking to his cousin. Y'all, I'm going too deep. This is deeper than what it actually need to be. The movie ends with him talking to his cousin, and he was telling his cousin, I hope these people treating you right with you fixing this house and, you know, fixing this building and doing all this stuff. And he was basically telling him, yeah, they doing pretty good to me. He said, because I'm the owner. And then, you know, it ends and it goes on to wherever it's going on to. And I have to say, that is the best part of the movie because it showed that his cousin paid attention to him enough to say, well, I'm going to do this too. And I think that's what most people of a different color than us get afraid of. That they can see one doing it and then be like, no, there's going to be a door for all of them to do it. He going to see it and then he going to be like, he want to do it. I love that movie, y'all. Y'all could tell I went into depth with everything in this movie. I got all my notes. Y'all can see. I really enjoyed the movie. So here's the thing. If you like this video, these two videos, this is my first time doing this. And if you like it, you know, hit the subscribe button. I might not post all the time because I'm just getting into the groove of doing these things. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notifications bell. And hit all notifications. I'm not coming on all the time. You just need to see me when I come on. So hit all forms of notifications when you hit the notification bell. And then leave a comment down there. Kind of, you know, dissect it with me. I won't come in because, you know, I don't get offended, you know, by the comments or whatever. I just want to hear or see, did y'all see what I saw? Because I read into the movie, especially when it's based on real life. You know, I really like the movie and how it portrayed black people in it. The next movie I think I'm going to do is the Madam C.J. Walker. Now, that's probably going to be a really long one. But, hey, y'all can see that my movie reviews are very different from any other movie review. They're actually really long. So I go into how it kind of ties into today and how we handle business today, how we vote, how we been dealing with legislation and things like that. So you guys, if you really like it, email me at onecalvinedwards@gmail.com. That's onecalvinedwards@gmail.com. That email again is onecalvinedwards@gmail.com. And then I have a Cash App, you guys. So like, if y'all want me to be able to get better background resolution, pay somebody to do me an intro video, go and watch some movies, you know, hit up my Cash App. It's $1 Calvin Edwards. That again is $ONECALVINEDWARDS. Again, that is $1 Calvin Edwards. All right, peace out, you guys. I hope y'all enjoy it.